Good morning, students. So today I'll be discussing about the second modulation technique that comes around. That is your binary phase shifting. Okay. In the previous class, I discussed about amplitude shifting, where we observed that the amplitude of the carrier signal changes with respect to the digital signal, right? So in today's class, I'll be discussing about the binary phase shifting techniques. As the title of the modulation technique suggests, it is a modulation technique where the phase of the carrier signal will change with respect to the baseband signal. And it is stating that it is a binary phase shifting. So binary over here means there will be two phase shifts. One is of 0 degree and other one is of 180 degree. So let us discuss this modulation technique in detail. And one of the most important thing is that it is a technique where it is applied in different communication systems, like your satellite communication systems and other important communication systems where uh, the phase modulation technique has to be necessary. So, as I discussed in the previous class, this is the classification of the modulation techniques. So in the modulation techniques, we observe that basic classifications are analog modulation and digital modulation. So here we have not mentioned the pulse modulation techniques, but we already completed those. There is a pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and pulse position modulation. So here in analog modulation techniques, we come with AM, FM, and the phase modulation. And the digital modulation techniques, we have the amplitude shifting is over, and now we'll be discussing about the phase shifting. So if we specifically see with the phase shifting techniques, we'll be discussing about the different phase shifting techniques like BPSK. Then I'll be discussing about the QPSK, not in this class but in the future classes. Okay, these all come under the phase shifting techniques. Then in general, I'll be discussing about the M array PSK techniques. That is the value of M. That is, if it is binary, then value of capital M is 2. If it is quadrature phase shifting, then value of capital M is 4. So we will be discussing all these techniques, okay? And then if time permits, we'll go for other higher techniques also, and we'll go for comparison study also of these techniques. So out of the MRA, PSK, BPSK, QPSK, and MRA PSK, so I'll be covering up today the BPSK technique. Okay, we'll be discussing about the binary phase shift key. So here for binary phase shift key, the capital M value is equal to 2 because there are two phase shifts. Okay, one is 0 degree and other one is your 180 degree. We'll be discussing the details of it. So let us discuss about the BPSK modulation technique in detail. So in BPSK, as I told you, the phase of the carrier signal is changed in accordance with the data bit that has to be transmitted. So here, first what we do is we represent the data in polar non-return to zero line code technique. So if you remember the polar non-return to zero line code technique, we represent the binary one with the positive voltage, right? And we represent the binary 0 with a negative voltage. So here what we do is we convert the digital data, that is from the source. When we convert the signal to A to D conversion, we get the whole sequence in digital form, right? It's in 100 form. So this is now represented in the line code technique, that is your polar NRZ line code technique. That is the first step that we would have to take care. The next, we take up a carrier signal, that is ST is equal to A cos 2 pi FCT. So here A is the amplitude of the carrier signal, that is the peak value of the amplitude of the carrier waveform. So this is will be equal to P will be, as you know that for standard 1 ohm load resistor, the power dissipated is given as is equal to P is equal to half A square. So A can be written in terms of power, that is equal to, that is amplitude of the carrier signal can be written in terms of power, that is equal to root over 2 PS. So the carrier signal is now represented in as ST is equal to root over 2 PS cos 2 pi FCT. Now, so what is our objective now? We got to apply the modulation technique in such a manner that we observe phase shifts, isn't it? With respect to the bit we are transmitting, that is the data we are transmitting. If we're transmitting binary one, we observe a particular phase shift, and for zero it's different. So here, so first we'll perform modulation by, so this is basically your modulator, right? You can take a modulator, and to that we have two inputs, right? One you give it as over here, that is the input is your to your carrier signal, that is your carrier is equal to CT, and the second the other input is your the baseband signal, right? So this is a simple block diagram for generating a BPSK waveform. So the baseband signal over here is the data which is represented in polar non-return to zero format. Okay, so here we are applying the baseband signal and the carrier signal to the modulator section. So the output of this is a BPSK waveform. So here the line code technique which we are using is polar NRZ line code technique. So if you remember when we studied the properties of the polar NRZ line code technique, there I told you that depending upon the choice of the line code technique, we will be able to generate different type of modulated waveform. So if I had used a unipolar NRZ line code technique and applied that particular baseband signal to the modulator, and we are also applying the carrier signal, the output would have been an ASK signal, right? If you remember the ASK also. But in order to generate a binary phase shifting technique, we have to apply a baseband signal which is represented in polar NRZ line code form. Now, so the modulated waveform is represented as ST is equal to BT multiplied with root over 2 PS cos 2 pi FCT. So where BT is equal to positive voltage for binary 1 and it is a negative voltage for binary 0. So we will further, I'll be further explaining the equations. Let's go to the next slide now. So for the symbol binary 1, what happens? S1T will be equal to BT multiplied with root over 2 PS cos 2 pi FCT. So here BT is equal to positive voltage. So ST will be equal to root over 2P cos 2 pi FCT. Similarly for binary 0, S2T will be equal to, that is a modulated waveform is equal to BT multiplied with root over 2P cos 2 pi FCT. So if so here BT is a minus voltage, right? So we get S2T is equal to minus root over 2P cos 2 pi FCT. So if we write it as terms as minus over here, then we can write the whole expression as S2T is equal to BT multiplied with root over 2P cos 2 pi FCT plus pi. Okay, cos 2 pi FCT plus pi is equal to minus cos 2 pi FCT, right? So what we observe, when it's a binary one, the modulated waveform is becoming root over 2P cos 2 pi FCT, and when it is a binary 0, the modulated waveform is becoming minus root over 2P cos 2 pi FCT. That is equal to root over 2P cos 2 pi FCT plus pi. So here, what are the phase difference? One is your here 0 degree and another one is 180. So let us, when I will be explaining the waveforms here, it will be much clearer. So did you follow this? How the modulated waveform looks like when you are transmitting a binary 1, and how it looks like when you're transmitting a binary 0. How the equation's representation changes. So here it is root over 2p cos 2 pi fct plus pi, and this is your root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So here we get plus root over 2p cos 2 pi fct for binary 1 being transmitted, and for binary 0 being transmitted, which is represented by negative voltage, it becomes minus root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So we'll go to the next slide now. Let me take one example now to represent how a time domain representation of BPSK signal looks like. Okay. So here, first what I do, I take up digital data that is given by 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So initially it is given in the unipolar format, but when you perform BPSK, we convert into polar NRZ technique. So binary 1 is represented by positive voltage for the complete bit duration. So this is the bit duration TB. Okay. So binary 1 is represented by positive voltage for the complete bit duration. So next again binary 1. So this is also positive voltage for the complete bit duration TB. Then the third bit is a binary 0. Okay. So this we represent by a negative voltage, say minus 1 voltage for the complete bit duration TB. So all the zeros are represented by negative voltage, and the positive one, binary 1 is represented by positive voltage. Okay, like this we represent the whole digital data in terms of polar NRZ form. Then next what we do, we take a carrier signal. So as I told you, carrier is given by AC cos 2 pi fct, that is the root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So let the carrier signal be given like this. So here, for our convenience, I usually see the carrier signal is of very high frequency signal. But here, in order to understand properly the time domain representation or the clarity of the phase shifts we want to see, I'm representing it in this form. Okay. So we are just taking one cycle in one bit duration. Now, next what happens? Let me tell you. So you see, this is the BPSK waveform. We observe the phase shifts over here. So what are the phase shifts? As I told you, for in BPSK there are two phase shifts. One is your 0-degree phase shift and other one is your 180-degree phase shift. Right? This is your 180-degree phase shift. Now let us see in this time domain representation where does the 0-degree phase shift takes place and where the 180-degree phase shift takes place. Now let me tell you, when you transmit a binary 1, what is a modulated waveform? It is plus voltage multiplied with cos 2 pi fct. What will you get? Root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. Right? So this waveform which you are getting here is equal to root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. Now again you are transmitting a binary 1. Isn't it? So the modulated waveform is given by Bt multiplied with root over 2p cos 2 pi fct carrier signal. So the resultant is again root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So when you're transmitting, the consecutive bits are same, right? When the consecutive bits are same, the phase shift that we observe is 0-degree. Understood? That is the phase shift that we observe over here is 0-degree. Now, let us come to the next point. That is, what is the third bit? It is a binary 0, right? So when it's a binary 0, you represent the binary 0 with a negative voltage, isn't it? So it is a minus 1 voltage here. So minus voltage multiplied with cos 2 pi fct. What will you get? Yes, it is minus root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So the waveform that is generated over here is represented as minus 2 pi minus root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So in the previous bit duration, the signal is equal to root over 2p cos 2 pi fct, and the third bit duration it is here minus root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So what is the phase shift over here between these two? Can anyone tell? It is equal to 180 degree, right? So the phase shift at this point, okay, this is your 180 degree phase shift, and the phase shift over here is 0 degree. So what do we conclude from here? When the consecutive bits are different, that is the previous bit is 1 and the next bit is 0, or the reverse, then we observe a phase shift of 180 degree at the midpoint of both the bits, right? Then next, when the consecutive bits are same, the phase shift we observe is 0 degree. Okay, so here we observe that there are two phase shifts. One is your 0 degree phase shift, other one is your 180 degree phase shift. So this is the time domain representation of BPSK. So let us continue here. You see, what is the fourth bit? It is a binary 0 again. So binary 0 means it is given by negative voltage. So minus 1 volt multiplied with cos 2 pi fct, it will give again minus root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So you can say that this waveform is also equal to minus root over 2p cos 2 pi fct. So the phase shift bit over here at the junction over here is equal to 0 degree. So when the consecutive bits are same, the phase shift is 0, and when the consecutive bits are different, the phase shift is 180 degree. So in BPSK we observe two phase shifts. One is your 0 degree phase shift and other one is your 180 degree phase shift. So next I'll be discussing about the generation of binary phase shift gate waveform. So as I discussed with you the time domain representation, it is a continuation to that only. So here, in order to generate the BPSK waveform, if you look at the equation, the same way we have to proceed. The binary data which has to be applied or transmitted into the channel by performing modulation over the carrier waveform, it is first converted to polar form. Okay, it is first converted to polar form. So the signal, when it is converted to polar form, right? Now this polar format of the digital data is now applied to the product modulator, and then you apply the carrier waveform to the BPSK modulator section. The output is a BPSK waveform. So in this way we generate a BPSK waveform. Now I will be discussing about the demodulator section, that is how to perform demodulation. So we know that the demodulation is a process where we try to extract the baseband signal from the modulated waveform. So this is your BPSK demodulator. So in the BPSK demodulator section, we have two things that has to be performed. One is we need to extract the carrier signal from the modulated waveform, and then you apply the carrier signal which is extracted and the modulated waveform to the synchronous demodulator. Okay, to the synchronous demodulator, and you perform the demodulation with the help of this, and then you apply to the integrated down filter. So there are basically two steps, right? That is the extraction of the carrier signal from the modulated waveform, and the second is the demodulation. So how is the extraction of the carrier signal from the modulated waveform can be done, right? So the first step is we apply the modulated waveform to the squaring circuit. So if you look at the previous slide, this is a squaring circuit, right? This is a squaring circuit. The incoming modulated waveform is applied to the squaring circuit. So what do we get? The output of the squaring circuit, we get b of t root over 2p cos 2 pi fct square. So we consider that a is equal to 1, we'll get cos square 2 pi fct plus theta. So for bt is equal to binary 1, right? Now, this squaring circuit output is applied to a band pass filter, right? It is applied to a band pass filter. So this band pass filter is centered about 2 omega c. Okay, it is centered about 2 omega c. So it allows frequencies which are centered about 2 omega c, and rest of the frequency terms are rejected. So let us look into the equation then. So what I told you, the output of the squaring circuit is applied to the band pass filter set at about 2 omega c. So the output of the squaring circuit, if I expand this one, what we get, half plus half cos 2 multiplied with 2 pi fct. So what is the thing? What is the point? So we get half plus half cos 2 pi fct. So we allow the frequency center about 2 omega c, that is we allow only cos 2 omega ct, and rest all the DC terms are removed. Then next you apply this output of the band pass filter to the frequency divider, that is you divide by 2. So the output of the frequency divider is to reduce the frequency of the input signal to by half. So here the input to the frequency divider is cos 2 pi fct2 multiplied with, that is your 2 omega ct, right? Cos 2 omega ct. So if you divide the frequency by half, we get cos omega ct. So if you look at over here, this cos 2 pi fct or cos omega ct is the carrier signal that has been used for generating the BPSK waveform. So in this process, we apply or we extract the carrier signal from the modulated waveform. So this is the first step of the BPSK demodulation. So here you see we first perform squaring, then apply to band pass filter. So through the band pass filter, the frequencies at about 2 mega C are allowed and rest are rejected. Then frequency divider divides the frequency by half, so we get cos omega ct. Now this cos omega ct which we are getting over here, that is a carrier signal extracted, and the BPSK signal over here, okay, is applied to the synchronous demodulator. And then so what we get, b of t multiplied with root over 2p cos square 2 pi fct plus theta as the output of the synchronous demodulator, which is applied to the bit synchronizer as well as the integrate and dump filter. Okay, so what happens in the integrate and dump filter then? So if you look at the integrate and dump filter, what it actually says, integration over here takes place over a bit duration TB. So the integration of the voltage levels is taking about a bit duration of TB. So if I explain this, so it consists of, you see, there's a bit synchronizer here. So this bit synchronizer takes care of the start time as well as the end time of the bit. That is a bit duration, that is a TB. So it will assist you to control the switches S1 and S2. This is the switch S1 and this is the switch S2. So how does this take place? So in the first step, so what happens is during the starting of the bit duration, the switch S1 is closed and the switch S2 is open. So the integration of the different voltage cycles, that is of the carrier signal, takes place over the bit duration. This means that over the bit duration all the voltages are integrated and At the end of the bit duration, S1 is open and S2 is closed. So when S2 is closed temporary, so it basically acts like a sampler section, and the output of the integrator goes to the decision making circuit, where looking at the voltage level of the income of the output bit, it is decided whether it is a binary 1 or whether it is a binary 0. Okay, now we will discuss about the geometrical representation of BPSK signal. So in the previous slides, I discussed with you about the time domain representation. Now I'll be discussing about the geometrical representation of the signal space, where the symbols 1 and 0 are plotted on the signal space, right? So we can see that in BPSK signal, it carries information about the two symbols. So these two symbols are basically binary 1 and binary 0, right? That is a message point 1 and your message point 0. Now, if we take a look at this, we represent the BPSK signal as ST is equal to BT multiplied with root over 2p cos 2 pi FCT. So if you try to rearrange the equation by including the term TB, what is TB? TB is the bit duration. So here we multiply TB on the numerator section as well as on the denominator section, right? So we get BT multiplied with root over PTB multiplied with root over 2 by TB cos 2 by FCT. So here we take up this particular term as root over 2 by TB cos 2 by FCT as the carrier, that is your phi 1t. Okay, and this root over, that is your P multiplied with TB, is the energy of the bit. So here it is a BT multiplied with root over PTB multiplied with root over 2 by TB cos 2 by FCT. So if we plot the energy of the bit or the symbol present over here on the signal space, then about the x-axis we first write down the phi 1t. So phi 1t is equal to root over 2 by TB cos 2 pi FCT, and the message point we are going to plot here, one is your minus root over EB for the message signal 0 and plus root over B for the message signal 1. So the Euclidean distance between these two message points is equal to 2 root over EB. So it is observed that if the Euclidean distance between the two symbols, okay, if it is more, that is the symbol of the distance D between these two message points is more, then it is found that the probability of error will reduce. So it represents the isolation in symbols, that is the isolation of the symbols over here 1 and 0 in BPSK. So, and this separation is represented by D, that is your Euclidean distance. So more is the distance, so it means that less is the probability of error. So this is in today's class we discussed about the basic fundamentals of the binary phase shift key, the translation, that is your geometrical representation of the BPSK signal. Then we discussed about the generation and the demodulation. This is how to perform demodulation over the BPSK waveform. So the books which I referred for this, you can go through Simon Hackens, Proekes, Tobin Schelling, Procus, and Singh and Sapri. These are quite very good books. And if you have any further doubts, you please contact me over my email, WhatsApp, or my phone number. I'll try to clarify all your doubts. Thank you.